Yes, so I'll make a motion to open
Okay,
at 7:37.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Okay. Did everybody have an opportunity to read the minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Any suggestions or comments or changes?
And these are the May minutes, there's no June minutes?
There's no quorum in June.
No, okay.
No.
All right.
So, we get a motion to,
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept.
second, who's gonna, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Right?
Good. I don't see anybody here to do public comment, so I'm assuming that we should bypass that one. New budget for fiscal year '28?
Yep, so the only update with that is I have my first meeting with finance tomorrow to start planning ahead. So I'll have more details on that as we go along, but meeting with them at 12 o'clock tomorrow, start looking at the budget and begin the budget process.
Okay. CIP updates?
So our meeting, we're scheduled next Tuesday, the 21st, at 6 o'clock in Moose Hill. We'll be going with the school to present those projects that were submitted. As part of the CIP, we submitted 7 total projects. Included the tennis courts, reconstruction, the lighting at LAFA, on the LAFA fields, the dugouts at LAFA, potential pickleball courts, a skate park restoration of the use of the space that's currently there, as well as looking at a skate park for a new location, a little bit smaller with phasing out. And then Forest Field, we're looking, after talking with LAFA, was looking at potentially turning one of those fields into with turf. So working with kind of what the school has been doing with what their projects are looking for as well. But there was just some of these projects that we're looking at. Obviously, they're each, we rank them a certain way as they get presented to the CIP committee. The CIP committee will rank them a certain way, and then we'll have more information. But the presentation's next week to kind of go over each of those. So
Which field were they thinking about for the turf?
Forest.
Torrance Forest.
Right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes. I thought, because I was thinking the ones that don't get any watering.
No. So I mean, the idea of turfing a field is you're lessening the need for irrigation, the field maintenance, the mowing, the fertilization. Over X amount of years, it cuts down the costs. And kind of eventually we get there.
Still have to clean and sanitize them.
Yes, another charge in there, but not currently what we're paying is more. So that's one. Again, that's the 7th on the list that's been proposed. Obviously, we have some that are higher priorities right now. Tennis courts being.
Is there a calculation on the break even on that? Like 5 years, 6 years, 8 years?
Yeah, it comes out. I think they usually do it in a 10 to 15 year run. So that's usually within that expansion of time. That's where you get. Where you kind of hit that break-even point.
Yeah, and what's the quality on your artificial turf?
Well, that's something we'd have to look at too. What's being done, who's doing it. What's the repair. We're talking Forest, the CIP project that's been submitted there. So, so that one's got a lot. I mean, that's got a big price tag to it too. So it's not for something that's
They are expensive.
They are, yes. So. But like I said, priority-wise, looking at some of the ones that'll be submitted next week, tennis courts and we gotta look at discussing the skate park and pickleball courts as well. So just kind of some things that are needed here in town.
So you still use stone dust on the infield?
No. So the infield would be the turf. You could turf. Well, so there's 2 options. You could turf just the infield, or you can turf the entire. You can turf the entire field space. So it's just
Of a baseball diamond?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Mike might have played on some fields that are.
Yeah, Lynn has a field like that where the infield is all turf and the outfield's grass.
Yeah.
And you still have stone dust then between the bases?
No, it's all turf.
It's all turf.
All turf?
The only thing they'll do is they'll sometimes change the color of the turf
Okay.
Right.
to like the orange instead or the brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some field spaces that are turf all the way out, and I've played on those too. So
Okay.
it just goes all the way.
Okay, color run, LPD.
This is just a quick update for the Old Home Day. So this year, the Recreation Department, I mentioned last time, we're running the color run as well as we're bringing back the police first fire softball game. So The color run, that's been promoted. That'll be on a Thursday, the 13th this year. I believe that's the right date. Sorry, I got mixed up dates. It's August 13th. What date is that? Yes, Thursday the 13th, from 5:30 to 6:30 at the town common. So with people arriving at 5 o'clock, be some different activities going on down there that day as well. They're planning on hopefully doing the touch truck across the street, as well as Londonderry Police Association is going to do their movie night. So kind of a kid-friendly aura going on down there that day. But so that'll be the third year we're running that. And then again, bringing back police versus fire softball game. That'll just be one game happening over at Matthew Thornton. They are planning to do I believe they're still planning to do a home run derby and kind of kids games over at the Laffa Complex earlier in the day, but prior to fireworks and the food trucks as well. So more of that information will be coming out with Old Home Day as the committee continues to meet and starts unveiling that as we go on throughout this month. But that's what recreation is going to be running in terms of this year's event.
Good. Summer programs.
Yep, so we are about halfway into all of our summer camps right now. So summer playground program, about 350 kids, 20 staff members. It's going really, really well. They just started, I think our theme this week is Animal Week. So we have reptile show coming. Last week we had police, fire, and DPW visited, which was great. Kids always love that. So they get demonstrations, they get to ask questions, they get to sit in the vehicles, wear the equipment. That was a really nice collaboration, so we appreciate working with all those departments. And then Voyager Camp, we're entering our 4th week this week, so we've been getting pictures posted. We've been everywhere, here, there, everywhere. We added that field day this year. That's been really popular on Tuesdays, so we'll be getting into that again tomorrow. Trips this week, we're going up to Mount Major, up near Winnipesaukee, as well as Weirs Beach. We're doing Canopy Lake Park, which is probably our most popular trip. And then we do a outdoor laser tag on Friday, so that's what this week looks like. But that's going really well too. So again, we've got 100 total kids that are participating at the various different field trips. Staff's doing an awesome job, especially with some of the heat and the weather that we've had. Really got to commend them for what they've been taking on this year too. Tennis lessons for our youth, grades 3 to 12, began tonight. So 20 total participants. We weren't able to get the grades 1 to 2 program with the USTA. They unfortunately didn't quite get to that number, and also didn't have an instructor to run the program. So that's something we've been working to partner with them, but we found it's been a little bit easier when we actually have our own instructor and run the program ourselves, because we don't have minimum numbers in terms of what we need for each grade level. The adult lessons are set to begin on Wednesday, so that's an introductory program. We have 8 participants in that. Flag football clinic, its 5-week clinic begins on Wednesday as well. We have 30 participants. That's maxed out, so that's the highest we've had in the last couple of years. That's over at West Road, not on field 2, so that's all right. We'll wait that over there, Kevin.
Fee schedule.
All right, yeah, fee schedule. So there's a public hearing coming up for Monday the 20th at Town Council meeting to discuss the fee schedule that was discussed at the previous meeting. So recreation is in there. Some of those fees weren't initially in there in past years. There's never been really a fee structure for recreation. So some of the details for what's been submitted recreation-wise is a requirement of a certificate of insurance, which is something we've already started implementing in the last couple of years anyways, but when people are using it to name the town as additionally insured, or to have their own TULIP policy that it names the town as additionally insured, so there's different variations of what you require depending on if you're a nonprofit or if you're doing a day off activity. Some of the other fees that were submitted include just in general what we've been doing with our recreation programs, our camps, any of our lessons, and that's all collected through the revolving fund. And then we've also looked to implement some field and facility rental fees that will vary depending on who's applying, if it's resident, non-resident, non-profit, or for-profit, and there's variations within that. Those fees do vary again as part of that fee schedule. We're looking to start including security deposits for uses of fields, damage fees, as well as lighting fees. So some of those things that some of the leagues are currently doing, that would be implemented if groups are coming in. We know we have some groups using tournaments over at LAFA. I'm sure soccer fields are going to get used. So there's a way now that we'll have a structure for an application process to reserve those field spaces with the fees associated with it. So the idea with the fee schedule essentially is an offsetting revenue stream for our current expenses. So that comes anywhere from sometimes when people are using the field spaces or using the open spaces, there's staffing time that goes into them, instructor hours, or some, when it comes to programming wise, it's usually an offsetting cost. It's not about making money, it's about offsetting the cost of the instructors. But we also have things like trash, portable toilets, general maintenance, damages from the activities, events, all that kind of comes back in. So some of these fees are there to offset, what potentially could happen there. Which again is why security deposits are involved, and it's also a way of creating a revenue stream that's allocated specifically back to those field and facility spaces. So there's with no cost to the taxpayer. So people are choosing to do it similar as they would with the programs. It's one of those things. So we start creating that general maintenance fund that isn't currently there. So like I said, it's a revenue source, and it kind of helps us avoid going and having to request increases in the budget, trying to put stuff on warrant articles. If we can start upkeeping some of our own field and facility spaces, it's just a different generating revenue stream that's not currently there.
I neglected, when Rick came in, to everybody mention their names so they all get recorded as attending. You wanna jump in and do that now?
So it's recorded tonight. So
Unknown caller.
Okay.
and the unknown caller's here too.
Senior maintenance labor position.
So that position is still open. We haven't had any additional applicants. So that's Sid's position, for those that aren't aware. That's a full-time position. So still posted on some different websites. Hoping we'll get some applicants for that, but are kind of looking at some alternatives to that position in general too. So. But definitely, those that are working out there are pretty strung out there, doing the best they can to stay with the field maintenance, and obviously we're having some additional things that have popped up over at West Road. So staff has been busy, the seasonal staff as well as some of our temporary and Sid himself. So
And I was drafted in.
and you were drafted back. Yeah, you didn't get to leave. Art better be careful too.
Yeah,
Pull him back in.
yeah. Grant opportunities?
So grant opportunities, I'm gonna send this along probably in an email, but we received some different opportunities that have come in for that can be applied through boards and commissions as well as LWCF. So LWCF is Land Water Conservation Funds. That's been used for various fields and court spaces here in town in the past. So those are some options as we look at specifically the capital improvement plans and the projects that are there. Is backfilling some of that potentially or taking care of the cost of those facility spaces through those grant opportunities. So we're just going to start looking into that. Happy to share that with the commission as well. So those would be some things. Those might be items coming down the road that some assistance might be needed from the commission in terms of helping to gather information, pass the insight, knowledge, all that sort of thing. So so check your emails.
Good. Okay, old business. Facilities update.
So I'm going to throw this over to Kevin first with the facility update over at West Road.
Yes, we had a problem a couple weeks ago with the a leak in the discharge pipe that actually runs underground, and I can pass it around. But guys, you can take it if you want. So it's the piping comes out from the pump house down underground, takes a couple turns, and that actually happened at Field 6 a few years ago, and we had to change like the first
There it is.
10 or 15 feet of piping.
Not so funny.
So we were able to throw a clamp on it for now. We have RH White coming out Monday to give us a price to fix that.
Right.
And then we put a brand new foot valve in a couple months ago, and that already failed. So when you take a straw and you put it in a drink, you put your finger on top, and you take it out. You take it. So the foot valve keeps water in, but the check valve after the pump does the same thing. But when you have a leak like this, it lets the water run right out the foot valve. So for a few days, Sid had a wicked hard time trying to keep the pump primed. But to change the foot valve, it's out in the pond, and we have no way to get into it except for an old rowboat we have. So we got to go out in a rowboat and reach over the edge and try to get this 100-pound valve out. So we're going to talk to RH White about putting some flanges in on the beach where you can unbolt it and then pull it up in.
Okay.
But right now there's rocks in the way and brush, so we got to kind of clear a path down to the pond, make it so we can get it with our tractor with some straps and pull it in. So we're going to get a price to see what it's going to take to do that, because it's only Sid and I really that know how to do this.
Right.
And you can't get another company to come in, they don't really specialize in this kind of stuff, so we've gotta make it easy for the next person.
Yeah.
And it's what they do at the school, but the school's got a little tiny suction pipe, ours, there's a 4 inch, ours is 6 inch. And ours is hundreds of pounds heavier, and they struggle pulling theirs out with a golf cart, so we've gotta make that a little bit easier to do. So working on that. And then, just today, a leak developed on field 2, the big wet spot, and Sid called TLC, irrigation, who takes care of Laffa.
Yeah, they do.
So he's gonna try to get them out there to look at that, because that's a bear to try to fix. And whenever you cut one of these big lines, they always spring. And because it's down underground, it's hard to move around, and so, but they're gonna let it dry out for a day. So they're gonna look at that on Wednesday. And that's all I'm aware of so far.
Okay,
I don't want you telling me anymore. That's
No. Yeah.
I started
Feel like my boss
Sid's
at
like,
work.
come on over here, let me show you all this stuff. Yeah, look at what's happening.
okay, equipment,
Nothing to report there. And same with budget. We just started new budget season, so we're doing great right now.
okay,
But no, we looked pretty good by the end of last fiscal year as well, which is great.
yeah, that's good. Anybody have any comments or points? they
Should
want
I
to-
share what you and Sid called me about?
You can, yeah,
So, the first problem you called me about,
right.
um,
Yeah, I didn't know.
which was throwing some a donation to the rec commission to support that from the soccer club, and so I have preliminary approval to do it, but just looking to find out how much it's actually going to cost
So that'll
before
be
we.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can kind of.
It should probably take them a week to figure out after that.
Yeah,
So within a couple weeks, we should know.
yeah.
So-
So once we have that, I can go back, but I have a couple. I don't have a quorum yet,
Okay.
but I have most of it.
Well, I appreciate you even looking into that because
Yeah.
that's very helpful. Obviously, as we start a fiscal year, we don't want to be dipping into some buckets that we barely have the funds in there
Yeah.
anyways for. So.
If the other question we have is, because we've faced this before, having to fund certain things, but other groups that use those fields, are they also being asked to support, to maybe put a donation towards that?
So you're talking other leagues.
Yeah,
So that's something we can definitely work on addressing. Yeah, I think part of what's coming through, as Mike knows, we're going through a transition year with some of our policies too, but having those agreements in place going forward too, so people know what's expected of them. Memorandum of agreements, that'll be something starting in hopefully 2027, we get that all going, everybody's
Yeah.
on the same page, we're getting leagues back to the table with the schools, working together with the town and making sure everybody's in alignment in terms of scheduling, who's doing what, any other additional maintenance needs, projects that need to be done, and how do we work collectively together to get that done. So as we're kind of, I know we're midway through the summer, but that is something, it's very much on the docket. As soon as summer ends, that's what my priority will be, is getting
Okay.
that going, which is why fee schedule is important too. I think just to have that, because it'll be a component of those agreements and facility and usage agreements in general.
yeah, let's talk about that though, to find out what that fee schedule looks like and see if maybe this will help
Yeah.
offset some of that.
Mm-hmm. And that will be something, so leagues there won't be charged to leagues for that sort of, other than what agreements that are already in place, lights, things like that that are paid for, if there's, water stuff, or whatever there may be, we'll figure that out, but that'll be separate.
Yeah, I mean, we have, our meters pay for the lights on 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we can look at that.
Mhm.
I mean, but we're gonna have LED on all of them, so
Okay.
that's gonna be helpful.
And that's something I know you guys are, so and we're looking just in general with, we talked a lot of alignment and making sure concession stands are up to code and doing all that, so just things that have haven't been done, we're gonna start getting those in alignment so that again it's covered not only by the groups using them but also by the town, and because it falls under town property and town insurance
Yeah.
policies.
We fixed the bungee cords on.
Great.
It was really just one shelf that had like
Just new bungee
condiments on it.
cords?
Mhm.
No, we
Stronger
actually,
ones?
somebody came in and put wall anchors in. It was literally just this little shelf where
Great.
things sat on top of it, and it was being held up. So
Okay.
those are fixed.
Those are fixed.
Yeah.
Good.
I think that was our only.
Those are
Finding.
yeah.
Does anyone else have any things they want to bring up?
Anything, Deb? No. Anything from LAFA or anything like that while you're here?
No, I think we meet Wednesday night just for a general board meeting. One thing I will say, I was at the gym today, and a person who had just moved to town was actually really impressed with the offerings that we have in the rec department. He has 3 younger kids, young family. He said it was just nice to be able to put them all in things and not worry about the cost. So for what it's worth, the public that was unsolicited. We were talking about something and that came up, and he said I think they did the run, the track program. So he appreciated it, him and his wife.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice to hear.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
A lot of credit goes
Very
to
good.
staff and instructors too. They're doing a really, really great job. So we got a great group of people this year that are enthusiastic, and really, really care about the program and participants too. So
Good.
Glad to hear that.
What will you be reaching out for volunteer needs for those events that were?
Yes, yeah, I think that's something I'll probably do it prior to because next meeting comes that same week as Old Home Day, so I'll do it prior to that about what it is we need. Yep, I know, I'm sure Cheerson and that committee will be looking for volunteers in general too. Because Old Home Day week is always busy, but just people looking to do stuff. So.
Do we have a table or something at Old Home Days, or?
We haven't in the past. We could reach out about that. I don't know. I'm trying to think if other boards and did any other boards and committees have their own table at Old Home Day? You might know better on that.
They can.
They can.
Conservation does,
Yeah.
Beautify Londonderry
Conservation
does,
Yeah.
Green Tea, we all stand together, because it's all environmental.
Right.
So
Well, I'm
I,
not volunteering. I was just.
No, yeah. You
but
wanna say- Careful, that's
years ago,
Yeah.
they used to, like, it would be cool, like, if you guys had, like, what is that, is it Nerf or something, the foam?
Oh, yeah.
And Patty, used to do all the, like a sumo wrestler, you run and jump and stick on the wall.
Oh, or dunk tank or
Like, that
something,
was the,
or- yeah,
and it was a big sign, and people were signing up for
for soccer.
soccer.
Certain things, yeah. Well, Lapis helped the last couple of years, I know too.
I mean, that helped.
Yeah, they do something for the Cooperstown
Yeah.
team, the
Yeah.
games and
The
everything.
games and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah.
But no, if we have anything like that, I'll be sure to let the commission know.
Okay.
Yep. I think kind of just in general, as we kind of again through the transition, is I'll probably be reaching out too. We're looking to. I'm starting to speak about. The commission doesn't quite have bylaws in place and everything too. So it's establishing those, kind of giving the rec commission purpose aside from what the skill sets are here, the past experiences, the insight, and kind of starting to really get us on a focus and a trajectory of what it is, this commission can be doing to help out our department, which we now know is right now is one person because that other position's not filled. So obviously looking to lean on the knowledge base that's there from the past, people, the volunteerism that is there now, not to ask everybody in this room to do more than what it is you're already doing, but as we start going through these projects, I want to start focusing on that, and if there's things that you feel like you can be assistance to, expertise that you have, feel free to pass that along. I'm always open to that. I think that's the best way to kind of make sure collectively to work together. So that's all I have to say on that.
Sure, great.
Need a motion to wrap things up?
Sure. 8 o'clock, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, we're done.